Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 61 to 65 of chapter 2. Tani sarvani sanyamya,
Tani sarvani sanyamya,
Yukta asita matparaha,
Yukta asita matparaha,
Vashe hi yasyendriyani,
Vashe hi yasyendriyani,
Tasya prajna pratisthita,
Tasya prajna pratisthita,
Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha,
Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha,
Sangasteshu pajayate,
Sangasteshu pajayate,
Sangat sanjayate kamaha,
Sangat sanjayate kamaha,
Kamat krodho bhijayate,
Kamat krodho bhijayate,
Krodhat bhavati sammohaha,
Krodhat bhavati sammohaha,
Sammohat smriti vibhramaha,
Sammohat smriti vibhramaha,
Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha,
Smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha,
Buddhinashat pranashyati,
Buddhinashat pranashyati,
Ragadvesha vimuktaistu,
Ragadvesha vimuktaistu,
Vishayanindriyaischaran,
Vishayanindriyaischaran,
Atmavasyairvidheyatma,
Atmavasyairvidheyatma,
Prasadamadigacchati,
Prasadamadigacchati,
Prasade sarvadukhanam,
Prasade sarvadukhanam,
हानिरस्योपजायते
हानिरस्योपजायते
प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु
प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु
बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते
बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So last week we were seeing the 6 dimensions of moha. Now when we study the ladder of fall, what you need to understand is that there is no quick fix solutions for all this. Today is the age of wanting instant results. So people have become highly impatient. So one of the qualities which you need to develop if you want to come out of this ladder of fall is patience. There are many Sanskrit words like titiksha and several other words which all mean the same thing. The strength of a yogi is in his capacity or ability to wait in a cheerful way, not in an impatient way. So when you sow a seed, then you water the seed every day. Whatever is required, you do everything. Now you have to wait patiently. The seed will become a plant, and the plant will become a tree, and the fruits will eventually come. But if you are very impatient and let's say, if you sow a seed, you do whatever is required, and every night if you go and dig it and see whether the seed has started sprouting or not. Now that is childishness. As Swami Ramatita says, you cannot become a Buddha overnight, he says. So what happens is, when you're doing your sadhana, either people become very tamasic, they don't put any efforts, they have no concept of what a goal is and all that, or they become very rajasic, that is the other extreme, where you want results immediately. So the moment moha is told, no, how to get out of this moha, moment anger, how to get out of anger, it doesn't work like that. Actually, the very anxiety or impatience will keep you trapped in this cycle. See, there are 2 types of sadhanas. One is the daily, regular sadhana, the yoga sankirtan, which has been prescribed. You keep on doing that. Over a period of time, your very level will increase. See, if you're at, let us say, 3rd standard level in school, now you will find it very difficult to solve the problem, the problems which the teacher has given you. But once you move up to 4th standard or 5th standard, and again if the 3rd standard problems are given to you, you will find it very easy. It's the same thing in spirituality also. So when you're caught up at a particular level, it will look very difficult. So what is suggested is do daily sadhana to uplift yourself in totality. And then when we are studying these verses, the various practical tips are being given. Just absorb them. The inspiration is being provided by the Guru. So you absorb all that, which will help you to face the day-to-day issues. So if you consistently keep doing this, over a period of time, you will find that your consciousness would have got lifted. So there are no quick fixes in spirituality. See, anybody who promises instant results, never believe that person. It is always a process of sadhana. Even when people ask for healing, I always say, of course I will invoke the higher healing Shakti, I will, all that is there and you can receive that. But what sadhana are you doing? Unless and until you mend your ways, the long-term effect will not be there. See, supposing you have a particular issue. Now that issue has been caused because of certain karmas. Karmas means certain thoughts, certain emotions, certain decisions which you would have taken. And that decision may have come from a tendency to be very impulsive in life. So many factors are involved. Now, it is not enough if you merely take healing for the problem. The problem may temporarily go away due to the higher grace. But then you will recreate the problem if you don't do your sadhana. That is why I am insisting so much on sadhana. A person who is doing his or her sadhana on a daily basis will not ask questions like, now how to come out of moha? That is a very, that question stems from lack of depth. It is like a person has lost his memory. Now he comes and asks you, give me some method. How do I remember myself? Now how can you give him a method? Let us say a person called Ram, he is thinking that he is Shyam. Now you tell him about Shyam and you tell him that, listen, you're not this person, you're that, you have a lot of wealth, all that. He says, but I'm convinced about what you're saying, but I forget. So please tell me how to now remember my true identity. There is no technique there. The more you understand and absorb what is being given, automatically you will come out of the moha. All you need to do is the sadhana which has been prescribed and just keep absorbing what is being thrown at you. So when you ask questions, my suggestion is, don't ask a question as soon as it comes to your mind. That will not have the depth. When something is given, now absorb it fully and start practicing. Over a period of time, all your questions will be answered. See, right now what you're thinking is, moha. Now if you view it externally, intellectually, this is the problem. Now can you suggest a solution, sir? So a solution is suggested. So like how you write in a question, in the examination, no? Whether it's mathematics or physics or any paper, here is a question, here is an answer. It is not like that in spirituality. So last week I was mentioning that point to you, that a mad person will not know he is mad. The moment he starts understanding that he is mad, he has already started coming out of the madness. It is the same thing with moha also. A person who is caught up in moha will not understand that he is caught up in moha. That is the very irony of this whole thing. See, if only a person who is in moha can understand that he or she is in moha, then we don't require the Bhagavad Gita, we don't require any scripture, we don't require a guru also. But the very nature of moha is to delude you. So what we are doing in this yogic approach is that I am slowly revealing various facets of this wisdom, and I am making you penetrate into all this. As you begin to penetrate, as you begin to absorb what is being thrown to you, all the aspects of this wisdom, when in a very humble way, with a lot of devotion, when you absorb all this, what will happen is that your wisdom will start getting deepened. Your inner wisdom will start getting awakened. When that process of awakening happens, automatically the moha will go away. There is no technique there. Is there a technique to get a person out of madness? No. It's the same thing with moha also. So if you have understood this very carefully, whatever I said last week, you will not ask this question, now how to come out of moha. The very process of penetration, I explained to you there are two ways by which you can approach a problem. One is being problem oriented, other is being solution oriented. So when you penetrate the problem in a yogic way, the solution is automatic, it gets revealed. See, supposing a person is keeping things in a very dirty way. Now, why is he keeping it in a very dirty way? Because he does not consider it as dirt. So, you give him some technique, how to keep things clean and all that. And you clean it for him and you go. Next day you come, again he will keep everything in a messy way. So you get very angry. You tell him, no, I told you yesterday, this thing has to be there, that thing has to be there. And again you clean up everything for him. And you ask him, are you happy now? He says, yeah, I'm very happy. You go. Again next day you come, everything is messy. Why? Because he does not have awareness of the dirt. For a person who does not understand this concept of dirt, any amount of techniques of how to keep things clean and all that which you give will not work. So what is important is building that awareness about cleanliness, awareness about dirt. The moment that awareness comes, now he will start cleaning by himself. The moment that deeper understanding comes, the solution becomes very easy. The solution actually becomes, the solution starts surfacing automatically. Because as I told you, every problem has a solution and the solution is within the problem only. So when you disintegrate the problem through the process of penetration, what happens is that whatever solution is hidden there will start surfacing. So what were the 6 dimensions of moha? The laws of consciousness, then the delusion, whatever is real you miss, what is not real you will start projecting. Most of your problems pertaining to others are nothing but products of projections of your own mind. You think about it. You assume so many things. Before you go and talk to a person, so many assumptions. What if that person talks like this? What if he reacts like this? If she says this? There's a big story you build within your mind. A great philosopher, he said, don't meet problems halfway. Means you are sitting here, let the problem come to you. You can solve it. So you don't spin a problem in your mind. You don't spin your opinions in your mind, which actually aggravates the issue. Once a man came to me and he said, I have a lot of problems with my wife and I want to know how to handle the situation. His bhavana was so good. He didn't criticize his wife. He said there are genuine issues and she is very short-tempered. Factually, he was saying, and I also get affected very easily. So we get into some fight or other every now and then, and sometimes that aggravates so much. So how do I solve this? So I told him, why don't you take her out somewhere and why don't you both have a frank chat? What are the factors which you need to consider in your discussion? All that we'll see. But have you ever put in that effort? He said no. I asked him why. He said because she will not listen. I said, why are you assuming that? Because all along she is not listening. That could be because your approach is not correct. See, we can never say nobody will listen. When you tap the right psychology, what will appeal to that particular person, that person will start listening. So he was finding it very difficult. Then I told him, you write a letter then to her. We discussed what points he should cover and all that, and then he wrote a letter to her. But he was very skeptical. He said, sir, in all probability she may tear this letter and throw it in the dustbin. I said, this is a scene which you're playing in your mind and you're creating that. Why don't you create the opposite scene in your mind? That she will read the letter and a change will come about in her heart and your relationship will become better. That is also a possibility, 50%. I'm just going by the probability. When you toss a coin, it can either be heads or tail. Why are you assuming it will be heads only, straight away? That is because of delusion, moha. When you're caught up with something, when you're caught up with an emotion, that will delude you to make various assumptions. What do we mean by delusion? Moving away from reality. The assumptions which you make about any situation, about any person, that is what is called as delusion. And your assumptions are always made based on your mind, your emotions, not on reality, not based on reality. That man was so surprised because when he wrote the letter, I told him you have to write it from your heart and it should be very appealing and clear and it should be according to what her psychology is. He followed all those principles. To his utter surprise, when he wrote the letter and he gave it to his wife, now it took about a week or two. After 2 weeks, she suddenly one day, as soon as he came back from office, she was also working, she had also come and she was waiting for him and she said, I want to talk to you. She said, I've been reading and rereading this letter for the last couple of weeks. That has changed me completely. Now I've understood what you are feeling. Now I want to tell you what I'm feeling. It was a very, very wonderful conversation they had. Their relationship, it became so wonderful after that. He came and told me that. He said, "Sir, how foolish I was. I was making so many assumptions." So when you say I have tried, generally when a person has a problem, whether it's with relationships or whether it's with respect to work or anything, when I tell them you should go for solutions, they say, "Oh no, we have tried." It is all under delusion. See, you are making a lot of assumptions, having a lot of assumptions, then when you try, you're not really trying. So that is the delusion. And then we saw ignorance. It does not allow you, moha does not allow you to gain more wisdom. The infatuation. You become so infatuated in a slavish way and you get bound wherever you have moha. What is the sadhana practice you can do when you're in moha? The only sadhana which will work when you're in moha stage is surrender. Devotion and surrender. It is very interesting. When you go deep inside knowledge, you will develop devotion, you will develop surrender. And when you go deep inside devotion, bhakti, you will develop jnana. Both are interlinked, interconnected. You can never have one without the other. Some people say, I practice jnana yoga, I practice bhakti yoga. They don't know what they're talking about. It means they have not genuinely gained the true jnana and they have not tasted what is the rasa, the taste of true devotion they have not had. Because anyone who penetrates and gains this wisdom will automatically become very humble. He will start surrendering to the higher. So when you're caught up in moha, you cannot come out of it on your own. It's very, very difficult. So make a connection with the infinite. That is why I'm saying the daily sadhana will help you. And again, don't be result oriented. If you have true devotion to your master, when you're facing a very deep problem, you will do the sadhana and you will seek help. And the help will come, believe me. Because the Guru Shakti is always functioning. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, at every step, he says, it is all because of the grace of the Lord. Even when he talks about the desire to do sadhana, he says you get a desire to do sadhana because of the grace of the Lord. Then when you do sadhana because of the grace of the Lord. For at every step, he always glorifies the infinite. And he says it's all the higher grace. It's a grace of the Guru. It's a grace of God. They go on saying that. Why? To develop that humility. Now, the very nature of moha is to pull you down. So that tussle will be there. But the very nature of sadhana is to pull you up. So the devotion, which is a very, very important aspect of sadhana, that alone will work here. In the Bhajagovindam, Adi Shankaracharya, he says, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam. Means birth after birth, again death, again birth, the samsara, again lying in the mother's womb. Jatare shayanam, sleeping in the mother's womb, This moha, this samsara is there, he says. Now how do you get out of that? So punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare. Means the samsara is very, very difficult to cross over. Bahudustare. Iha samsare bahudustare means very difficult to cross over. That's how the person who is caught up will feel. Iha samsare bahudustare kripaya pare pahi murare. He says, with the grace of the infinite, with the grace of God, you can cross over this. So Shankaracharya was considered to be a jnani. But no master will be, you can never call any master a jnani or a bhakta or a karma yogi and all that. They will have a combination of all. So the moment you penetrate, iha samsare bahudustare, when you see life like that, what happens? Immediately the devotion gets awakened. He says, pahi murare, kripaya pare, pahi murare. So all this analysis we are making, this entire knowledge, this wisdom is being given to you only to take you to that point where you surrender. You surrender your ego. It is not an emotional thing I'm talking about. Because it's not about what you write, oh, I surrender to you, sir, I surrender to God. It is not that. A person who truly surrenders, a person who has true devotion may not even express it outside. But deep, deep within him, deep within her, he will completely surrender. When you understand the depth of moha, it will automatically awaken the devotion within you, that surrender within you. And in that quality of surrender lies the solution. That's why I said every problem has a solution, and the solution lies within the problem only. When you penetrate and start gaining the experiential wisdom of what moha is, these 6 dimensions, that will automatically trigger the devotion within you. The solution will start coming to you. We are so blinded by everything. Where we need to take guidance, we don't take guidance. Where guidance is not required, you go and take guidance. It is a very sad thing. But for a sadhak who is very sincere, he is rewarded with the awakening of the solution from within. A person once asked me, sir, there are so many temptations. Now how do I get over the temptations? I said, if you are very sincerely devoted to your Guru, if you are very sincerely devoted to the infinite, and if you do your sadhana sincerely, that sincerity will show you the way. Krishna was there all the time with Arjuna. But Arjuna never received any wisdom from Krishna. When a situation overpowered him, we saw in the first chapter, all this happened to Arjuna. Very, very interesting. It all started with Dhyayato only. Casually he told Krishna, Krishna, take the chariot between the 2 armies. I want to assess all the opponents. I want to see who's fighting with me. dhyayato. And then it developed sangaha, and then it generated kamaha, the modification. He became very sorrowful. He got into moha, and then he got into confusion of memory. Everything happened in the first chapter. But then, Krishna was standing there. He was giving him that healing energy. What happened at the end of the first chapter? He completely broke down. And then in the second chapter, Krishna just spoke a couple of verses, two to three lines he spoke. Kutastva kashmalamidam. How have you fallen into this state, Arjuna? You're not of this caliber. He reminded him of his potential. And he said, rise, And then again Arjuna started talking for a while. But after all the talking, a stage came where Arjuna realized this is beyond his capacity. So he immediately started the process of surrender. He said, Krishna, now I want you to give me guidance. I'm unable to find a solution in this. I am thy disciple. I bow down to you. Show me the way. So when the surrender started happening, I wouldn't say his surrender was 100% complete when he said that. Because no student can start with 100% perfect surrender. If a student has 100% perfect surrender, that second he will get enlightened. Believe me. So it is a process of initiating the surrender. So Arjuna initiated that surrender. And the moment he surrendered, then he started getting solutions. The entire wisdom he was able to gain. And that is very significant, because in the 18th chapter he says, Nashto moha. All my moha has gone. I've gone back my memory. See, whatever we are reading here, when we come to the 18th chapter, you will remember, Krishna said, that from moha gives confusion of memory. Now we see Arjuna mentioning that, and he says, now I know what my duty is. All that memory has come back to me. See, memory has come back to me it doesn't mean he had lost himself in the sense like he doesn't even know who he is. It's not like that. It is just at that moment when you're caught up with moha, you don't know what your role is. You forget what your role is. That is where the fifth dimension of moha comes, which is mistake. You make a series of mistakes. When you are in moha, all your decisions, everything will be in moha only. What is pushing you to make those mistakes? It is moha. And what will save you? It is only devotion and surrender. Up to the kama stage and the modification stage, there also, of course, see, devotion right from beginning, it's going to help. But at least there, you can do something. But when you get into the moha stage, as I told you, bhavati means becoming. You become one with the emotion. Then that emotion starts taking over your personality. You make a series of mistakes. And then the sixth dimension is pain. It causes a lot of pain, Who is the ultimate sufferer? It is that individual only. You will choose to suffer, but you will not go for a solution. You will not surrender and seek a solution. Amazing. That's why Shankara says, Athiva Vichitraha. This is very, very strange, The moha, the ignorance is Athiva Vichitraha, he says. Extremely, extremely strange. Amazing. And the most interesting part is, when you take away the moha, the solution is so simple. See, a person is drowning. He has been hypnotized, let us say, and he's thinking that his bedroom is a swimming pool and he feels he's drowning. This happens, when a person, you can actually hypnotize a person and make him experience things which is beyond reality. And not only will they go through that experiences, but a person can actually drown and die. That is what the psychologists they say, if they are not got out of that hypnotic state. So supposing a person is hypnotized and he thinks that his bedroom is a swimming pool and he is drowning. Now actually it is a bedroom. If just that moha is taken off, the solution is very simple. Actually the solution is there only. It is embedded in the problem, It isn't just realizing that this is not a swimming pool, there is no water here, this is just my bedroom, that's all. But when the moha is there, that is causing so much of pain to that person. So on one side, it says from anger arises delusion, the moha is there, but I'm also giving you the other side of it. Actually, it is only a delusion. We can even look at it this way. One way is, I'm having this problem, I'm caught up with this and all that. But when you start penetrating, you will understand, it's all just moha. It is all just a delusion. If you can add that word just a delusion, then it becomes a sadhana for you. When you say moha is delusion, moha is ignorant, it looks as if now it is a very, very big thing. But just add the word just, before moha. It is all just moha. It is all just delusion. You've mistaken something. The moment you get into that spirit, then your powers will start getting activated. That is the way to come out of this. The idea of studying the ladder of fall is not to get stuck there, obviously. Having given the ladder of fall in these two verses, then in the very next verse, next two verses, he will give you how to go beyond this. Again, then he will tell you, he will continue from the laws of intellect, what happens further. He will again continue there. Again, he will give solutions. So that is how any master designs the presentation of this wisdom. So from anger arises delusion. Once you get into the modification, then from there arises moha, where you become one with that emotion. And then what happens? From moha, he says, sammohat smriti vibhramaha. See, if I'm moving from moha to the next stage, because that alone I can keep giving you the wisdom for next several weeks also. But, I think I've already given a lot of material. You need to absorb that. And as you absorb more, then only more and more can be given. If everything is given at one go, it will cause a lot of confusion. It will become too heavy also. So, krodhat bhavati moha, sammoha. From modification, you get into a state of moha. And then sammohat smriti vibhramaha. From delusion arises confusion of memory. Smritihi means remembering, recalling. Vibhramaha. Brahmaha means confusion. embarrassment, Vibramaha means intensely. So it causes intense confusion of memory. What does he mean by confusion of memory? When you're caught up with a particular emotion, you forget who you are at that moment. You forget what, once you forget who you are, what your role is, then you will not know what you're saying. You will not know what you're doing. That is the meaning of bhavati, becoming one with the emotion. So you carefully observe a person who is angry. Or you observe yourself also when you get angry. What happens is, the anger slowly rises, and once you get possessed with the anger, once you get into the moha stage, what will happen is, everything which you will do it in an angry way. See, supposing, let us say, a person is angry with his children. Just an imaginary example I'm taking. A man is angry with his child. He shouts at the child. And he says, do your homework, some issues there. So he says, why aren't you being disciplined? And he goes on shouting. And then with that anger, he comes out of the room. Now, as he comes out, he closes the door when he comes out of that room to the hall. And you should observe how he closes the door. He will close it in an angry way. But he'll close it. When he is normal, he will close it gently. His anger was towards a child, but that once he gets into the moha stage, that will start manifesting in each and everything which he does. Whether he is closing the door, whether he starts walking, he will walk in an angry way. He will breathe in an angry way. It is very interesting. Every emotion makes you breathe in a particular way. When you're angry, you breathe in a particular way. When you're calm, you breathe in a particular way. When you're fearful, you breathe in a particular way. When you're having a lot of passion, you breathe in a particular way. So the very breathing itself, is possessed by the anger. When you are caught up with anger, when a yogi, when he sees people, he doesn't require gross expressions to understand a person. Subtle expressions are enough. Even no expression is enough, because the way you breathe itself, he will know your history. Oh, this is what this person is. And then supposing that man sits in the car and starts driving, he will drive in a very angry way. That is what is the stage of bhavati. So when that happens, the confusion of memory will be there. Last week I gave you that story, of the saint and the person so-called, he considered that person as from lower caste and all that. He said, I've been touched by your anger, and your anger is what is lower than the lowest caste. So the emotion suppresses your personality completely. It takes over. Whatever sweetness you have, whatever good nature you have, everything gets submerged in this emotion. And once your personality has taken a back seat, that causes confusion of memory. You don't know what you're saying, you don't know what you're doing. Everything, is happening without your awareness. And the most interesting part is Brahmaha. On one hand, it means confusion. On the other hand, it means embarrassment. So when there is confusion of memory, what happens is, you will say things, you will do things about which you will be very embarrassed later on. You will shout at a person because of anger, and then later on you yourself will regret. I should not have talked to her, or I should not have talked to him like this. Now, who is telling you? Did somebody from outside come and tell you? No. Your own awareness is telling you. Then, if you have that wisdom within you, why is it that that was not available to you at that point of time? Because you were in a state of smriti vibhramaha. When you are in a vibhramaha stage, then all the wisdom which you have, you will forget. This has been so beautifully depicted in the Mahabharata. In the Karna-Arjuna war, Karna was cursed by his teacher. He said, Karna, you've gotten into moha because you've lied to your own teacher. Again, Karna assumed, he assumed that if he tells the truth to Parashurama, Parashurama will not teach him. That was his assumption only. Because many people say Parashurama took an oath that I will not teach Kshatriyas, I will teach only Brahmins. See, that is not true. He took an oath that he will not teach Kshatriyas who will misuse the power. That's all what was it. Because he taught Bhishma. Bhishma was not a Brahmin in that sense, but he was not a priest. He was a king only. So Karna assumed all these things. So he never went and surrendered to the teacher fully. So he lied to him about his own identity. He got into moha. So he got that curse. You will get into a stage of smriti vibhramaha. When you require this wisdom most, at that time you will forget whatever you have learnt. It is not that Parashurama is sitting and cursing him. He is only telling him what will be the effect of his own karmas. No guru will ever curse a student. He only pronounced what the law of karma is. You have done these actions, so these consequences you will have to face. So smriti vibhramaha actually does not allow you to succeed in life. See, even students who appear for examinations, you've prepared so well, but then how much are you able to remember during that examination time? Many youngsters have told me, during the exam time, they are unable to solve a problem. But the moment the exam time is over and when they come out, they look at the question paper, the solution strikes in their minds. So they have asked me, many of them, why is it that I know the solution, but during the exam, that didn't strike me? It's because of smriti vibhramaha. Due to that tremendous stress, you get into a moha stage. Thereafter, that will cause confusion of memory. This wisdom will help you in whatever field you are in. It will help you to utilize your skills, your talents, your knowledge effectively by retaining your smriti. In life it is not merely about knowing things. It is about the ability to recall that wisdom when you require it. Let us say you know how to cook, you read all the books and all that, but when you are cooking you forget it. So then what is the use? So as you do your sadhana and when you come out of the clutches of moha, your ability to recall also will increase. Recall when it's necessary. See, a yogi is one whose mind will always be blank. He will not unnecessarily remember things. But when something has to be remembered, it's very, very essential, he will immediately awaken the smriti. Smriti is shakti. Smriti is actually a shakti within you, a power within you. And he will be able to fulfill that duty, whatever that situation demands. But otherwise, he will not load his mind with all the memories. See, your mind should be used like a diary. Now, whether it's digital diary or actual diary, you note down various things. You note down all the phone numbers, or even your cell phone. Nowadays, the cell phone, all the phone numbers are there. No, you don't sit and remember all that. Whenever you need to call somebody, what do? You go there and you activate that, then that number pops up, you dial that person and you talk to that person. So when it's required only, you do that. If you're just sitting in 24 hours, you don't keep scrolling and seeing what all numbers have I stored and whose number is whose. You don't do all that. It's the same thing with respect to your mind also. So it doesn't mean a yogi who is out of delusion, now he'll remember everything at all points of time. It is not that. Where it's required, he has that Shakti, he has awakened that Shakti. So this power, the ability to remember, recall things where it is necessary to remember, that comes back to you as you get out of moha. So the sadhana, the yoga sankirtan sadhana, every Sunday what I'm giving, these are all so powerful, the energy which is being given to you. When you go on absorbing, you will find the opposite of this will start happening. You will become very, very sharp and alert, See, most people think a spiritual person means he will not be alert. See, it's all opposite concepts which people have. If a person is very dreamy and sometimes they say, I meditate a lot. And if you look at their eyes, it will be like this. Normally itself. You can't have a normal conversation with them. Such people are not spiritual. A yogi is one, when he is functioning in the world, he will be fully alert. But at the same time, there will also be an inbuilt detachment. He is also cut off. This is so beautifully demonstrated, Lord Shiva is always in meditation, half eyes open. Of course, that is a Shambhavi mudra, there is a deeper yogic significance in that. But even externally when you see, it is very, very symbolic. His eyes are not fully closed. He is not shut off from the world. His eyes are not fully open. He is not completely caught up with the world also. He is there functioning, but he is also detached. Amazing combination. So, from delusion, sammohat smriti vibhramaha. So the sadhana tip, one sadhana tip I'll give you, this was practiced by many masters. That is, every now and then, whenever you get some spare time, just observe what are the things which are there in that particular room where you are in. Either it may be a room, or you may be in the airport, you may be in the railway station, wherever it is. Just observe. You will be very surprised. Your own home, the room where you spend maximum time, you wouldn't have observed so many things. The exact pattern of the curtains which you have put on the window, the walls of your room, every object, just observe. Few minutes, and then close your eyes and try to recall those objects wherever they are. And when I say recall, recall it in a picture form, exactly how you saw that object. It's a small exercise. It will hardly take a few minutes. Don't keep on doing this for a long time. Just a few minutes. If straight away, if you find seeing 10 objects and then recalling them are difficult, just see one object. Fully observe it. And then close your eyes and try to recall the object in its details. It's a very, very small sadhana I'm giving you, but this is a very deep, they say this is a meditation method itself. Many yogis practice this. Buddha, he practiced this. Many great saints have reaped the benefits by practicing this. This will help you in the further advanced sadhanas also. So when you do this, you will be very surprised. The first thing is when you start looking around in your own room and start observing many aspects, you will be so surprised because all these things I never noticed earlier. Why? Because your mind is caught up with something or other. Your mind is not where your body is. When is it that you lose your memory? When your mind is not available where your body is, the smriti vibhramaha will happen. So moha will force your mind to move away from reality. Reality is what is happening in front of you. That present moment is a reality. But the moha will force the mind and pull it away either to the past or the future. It will pull the mind away from the reality in front of it. So this is a small sadhana, small tip I'm giving you. So you consciously pull the mind back to what is there in front of you, what is there in this present moment. Earlier, see, there are many techniques. One is to close your eyes and observe your own breath. That is actually a more subtle technique. I make you practice that during the empowerment sessions, usually in advanced programs. We start off with that. But this you practice. Don't practice it right now. Then you will miss what I'm saying. But whenever you get some spare time, just start seeing what is there around you. Go into the details of that, observe it in detail, and then close your eyes and try to recall. This will increase the smriti shakti within you. And when your smriti shakti is invoked more and more, the moha will lose its power. So, even though he is saying from delusion, smriti vibhramaha, there itself I told you, in that problem itself lies the solution. So, awaken the smriti shakti, the moha can be conquered. That is a very, very effective method. So, Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he used to practice this. Whenever he used to go to a place, he used to observe everything and then later on tell people this was there, that was there, that was there. Just as a sadhana, He used to tell his students also to practice this. Swami Vivekananda, he practiced this. The practice of awakening the smriti shakti. So spirituality is not being in a dreamy state. So when a master says, I don't remember something, it means that thing is not important. He may be at a different frequency. He is always attuned to the infinite. Therefore, he may choose not to remember a few things. That is totally different from your lack of awareness. So, do this sadhana. Either, if you're straight away able to see more objects and then recall, that is fine. If you're finding that difficult, then just take up one or two objects, see that object in detail, and then close your eyes and try to recollect that picture. Initially, you will be surprised, you will find that it is not so easy. Because even as you are seeing an object, your mind is not totally present there. It will not register it fully. But if you, apart from your regular sadhana, here and there, whenever you get time, if you practice this, it will make you very, very sharp and alert. It will make you very smart. Smartness comes because of sharpness. When we go to the 12th chapter, Krishna gives the very many qualities of a bhakta, of a devotional person. What do we think? A devotional person means one who is not smart and who is just singing the bhajans. It is not merely that. He says a bhakta, a true bhakta becomes a daksha. Daksha means one who is very, very smart, clever, very sharp, What we call as a presence of mind. See, when he says smriti vibhramaha, means you lose your presence of mind. So make a conscious effort to develop the presence of mind. Small things, start off with small things. Like you use your bathroom and then you come out, you forget to switch off the light. Just bring that little bit of awareness and apply it there. Don't say, Ramana Maharishi, he used to forget. You're not at the Ramana Maharishi stage. See, masters having practiced all this, they've gone to a different state. From that state, whether they forget, whether they remember, all these things do not matter because they are one with the infinite. So you cannot compare yourself with that and start emulating that. That's why I said last week, do what they are saying, don't do what they are doing. So, smriti vibhramaha is a disease, but in that problem itself is a problem, and in that problem lies a solution, in that word smritihi. So start awakening that smriti shakti within you in small activities, day-to-day activities. Just start practicing, and believe me, this will give you enormous success in your career, because when you start awakening the smriti shakti, when you increase your presence of mind, your work efficiency will increase tremendously. And not only will you be successful in whatever you do, you will also grow spiritually. Ultimately, what is meditation? Meditation is nothing but just being fully there in the present moment. This will be a very, very effective preparation for advanced meditation, which we'll be doing in the future. So do this sadhana. Actually, this simple sadhana, when applied internally, will give you the highest state of enlightenment. Again, I'm quoting a Zen story. There was a person who went to meet a Zen master, and that master was weighing flax. He was doing the work of weighing the flax. And this person went to him and he said, "Oh master, I heard that you are an enlightened person. So tell me, can you tell me what is the state of enlightenment?" To which the master gave the answer, simple answer. He said, "This flax weighs 10 pounds. The Zen story ends there. All these Zen stories are short stories. Before you even start reading their length, but impregnated with tremendous principles. Sometimes just to unravel the deeper principle of one small Zen story may take few years also. To do the sadhana, I'm saying. So what is the principle here? Here is this person who went to the master and asked him, "What is enlightenment? Can you tell me?" And the master says, "This flax weighs 10 pounds. That is the state of enlightenment. He is right now, what activity is he doing? He is weighing the flax. So enlightenment is being in the present moment 100%. 100% presence of mind. Today your mind is absent most of the times. It keeps rambling here and there. So it's a beautiful message in that story. So that is a very deep yogic sadhana. So start becoming aware, start increasing your presence of mind in whether the dress which you're wearing, how you're talking, that and all will automatically, come. That is further application of the small sadhana practice which I told you. Because when your presence of mind increases, then you will start becoming aware of how you're talking to others, how sometimes you may talk in a rude way. What are your expressions? How you react to situations, everything will start, the wisdom will start opening up from within you. So this looks like a very simple sadhana, but the application of that sadhana is varied, and even in the advanced stages of meditation, it's the same principle which is applied. Not at the external level, it may be at the deeper level, but the principle is still the same. So spirituality and presence of mind go hand in hand. Presence of mind is an aspect of spirituality. So never ever be absent-minded and think that that is spirituality. Okay, so we will stop with this today. We will take up the next one, that is the laws of intellect. From confusion of memory arises laws of intellect, and then from there, buddhinashat pranashyati, total destruction. We will take that up next week. So this week, the homework for you is to do the sadhana whenever you get spare time. And this will also be a preparation for you for the 22-day course which we are going to have. Because the more awareness you build, the more sharp you become. When the energy, higher healing Shakti is invoked and given to you, you will be able to absorb it fully. The Master is willing to give everything, but your own mind is not available to receive it fully. Only to the extent your mind is available, to that extent you will absorb. So that is the homework which I am giving all of you this week. It's a small sadhana. So practice that. You will find enormous benefits, because your whole personality will start getting tuned, will start getting more refined, where you'll start becoming very focused and sharp. So don't overdo it and get tired. Just do it in a relaxed way for a few minutes whenever you get spare time. It should be an enjoyable process, like a game. Take it as a game and do it. Don't do it too seriously. I'm not giving you work. The moment we say work, in the sense of how people take it today, then it becomes a burden. One more thing to do, one more sadhana to do. Sadhana actually makes you very light. Okay, so before the meditation, a few questions are there. I will just answer them regarding the 22-day program. So Krish from California has asked this question. Hari Om, I'm immensely grateful for the life-transforming guidance and energy Yogishri has provided over the years. For example, recently when I extended my arm to close a window, I had a sudden sharp pain and sprain in my lower back. I immediately thought of the Master and the divine energy everywhere and kept breathing deeply through my pain, and amazingly it became okay in 5 minutes. Very nice. So I have also reduced my tendency to see social media and internet on my cell phone first thing in the morning to read unnecessary information. See, this is what I mean. The presence of mind. When the presence of mind is activated, all these things I don't need to say. You start setting things right in your life automatically. It's a very interesting thing. So he has asked 2 questions. Now the first question I'll answer it during the lectures, in the coming lectures, that will automatically you will get the point. The second question is regarding the 22-day program, which is what I want to take now. So for the 22-day program, should we set up a computer in a way that we are able to do physical exercises in front of it? Many thanks, Krish. So in the 22-day program, we are not going to have any physical exercises. You know, in the 2 preparatory meditations I have given, one in the morning, evening, to activate the Surya Shakti and Chandra Shakti within you. I'm sure all of you are doing that. A lot of healing energy has been infused into that. So that will prepare you very well. And then I had also given you a list of self-suggestions. In the form of self-suggestions, that is, I have asked you to read it in the morning and in the night before you go to bed with the full bhavana. So in the form of self-suggestions, I have also given you instructions. One lady has sent a message to me. In that I have written, I am doing my daily kriyas for minimum of half an hour. So when she read it, third day when she read it, she started feeling very awkward because she was not doing her exercises, kriyas. So from the 4th day she started doing her kriyas. So that sadhana which I have given you, I have personally written those statements meant to prepare you for the 22 days. So the physical exercise part, I am asking you to do right from now itself. Every day minimum half an hour, and throughout the 22 days, you need to do your physical kriyas. If you don't know any yoga kriyas, it does not matter. At least do some walking, do some stretches, you know. Minimum half an hour, you need to do that. That anyway, I'll be mentioning it during the 22 days also, but now itself you build that habit. But otherwise, in the 22-day program, I'm going to give you the wisdom, the various principles regarding health, very deep principles. And then every day we are going to do very deep sadhana, empowerment meditations. Every day is going to be an empowerment meditation. See, it's going to have 3 facets. One is the healing energy will be invoked, the higher healing Shakti. And that when you receive, each and every cell will start getting filled with the divine light and getting healed. Second thing is, every day will be an empowerment session also. It's going to be very powerful. And the third thing is, every day will be one facet of the sadhana, various sadhanas I'll be making you do. So the physical part you should do every day and balance it. That I'm leaving it to you. So you should take care of that. Okay. Then the second question is, a lady has asked, okay, I'll straight away give the answer. What the lady has asked is basically, do we need to do the Yoga Sankirtan during the 22-day program? No. I'll be mentioning this during the program also. During these 22 days in December, when you're attending that program, you don't need to do Yoga Sankirtan. See, when you're with the master, that itself is a sadhana, because he is giving you the highest healing Shakti. So there you don't need to do something separate on your own. That again, you see, you should vibrate along with the frequency of what the master is trying to give. So 22 days is going to make you do very, very deep sadhana. So in that itself, he will be explaining, what you should do to retain it throughout the day. He will say, do some stretches, take some rest. Just follow that. Okay. No, actually, I understand why the lady has asked, because this program is going to be between 2 and 2.5 hours. Plus, if we have the Yoga Sankirtan, if you're going to do, means it will become 3.5 hours. So, lot of time. So that is not required. Not that it is not required. Avoid doing that. Just do whatever the master has set for these 22 days. Be fully there. The other point, actually, this is not a question, but the last time when we had the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment online, 95 to 98% of the people, everything went on smoothly, but one or two, they experienced what they called as the buffering issues when they were seeing the videos. Buffering issues come because of internet connectivity problems, only the speed. So either, see, what is suggested is go for a high speed internet, broadband, nowadays fiber net and all these things have come. So get yourself well equipped now itself, so that during the 22 days, you can minimize all these issues. After doing all this here and there, some issue may be there. Online, I was told by the technical experts that 100% perfection is very difficult. That is understandable, but you do your part. And in case the buffering is there and all that, just refresh it, or wait for a few seconds, because these things are in auto mode, so it will automatically reduce the quality of the video to give you the best experience. Sometimes you may have high speed internet, but 1 second when it comes down, this buffering issue can happen. So that you may need to talk to your internet service provider for all this. But get yourself equipped with high speed internet access. This is very important. Okay, so this is something which you need to do. Don't do it at the last minute. Get prepared from now itself. Okay, with this now we will do the meditation. Today I'll just initiate you into this Smriti Shakti. We will awaken it a little bit. And then when you do the sadhana, it will be more fruitful. Okay? Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I'm going deeper and deeper into myself. Gently bring your full attention to this present moment. Become fully aware of your breath. Become fully aware of your mind. Of your body. I bow down to the Smriti Shakti within me, the power of remembering, recalling, the presence of mind and alertness. Smriti Shaktiyai Namaha. Smriti Shaktiyai Namaha. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back, wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, top of the head, the back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a powerful session today. I have initiated you a little bit into that Smriti Shakti, little bit I've awakened. Now when you do the sadhana, which I told you the homework for observing things and recalling, you will find that your powers would have already increased a bit. It will be very helpful to you. So do this practice this week. I'm also preparing you for the 22-day program along with this. So don't overdo things. Just do the Yoga Sankirtan once and then morning and evening preparatory meditation. Do your physical exercises, kriyas, that is a must. If you're doing the sadhana according to what the Guru is telling you and stick to that without doing your own thing, then you will reap the full benefits. And if you're doing the sadhana properly, whatever diseases you have, everything will go away. Not only diseases, all your problems will start getting solved. And you will also become very detached, from all this. That power you will get. You will be successful. You will also be very, very spiritual and, peaceful from within. There is one lady who was also asked about, when she was doing the she's been doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana and all this, and she's some diseases she has got, some pains. So she was wondering whether she's overdoing anything. So that's why I'm mentioning you need to find out. If you have some other practice which you're already doing and all that, see, you have to see. Ultimately, you need to stick to one person and one path that will benefit you maximum. You can't do everything, together, and it's not required. The fact that you have come here, you're listening to this regularly means this is your path. One person once came and told me, that my guru is no more, and in the physical form, that his guru was not there. Many years he had guided him. So one day he just closed his eyes and he was missing his guru so much. He said, "Please show me the way." And then as soon as he opened, there was some kind of voice, something telling him to open his WhatsApp in the cell phone. He opened up. His friend had sent information about our Bhagavad Gita lectures. So he immediately went there and started seeing. And he said, "I take it as instructions from my guru only, to continue. This is where I have to come." All the practices which he had given had prepared him for this further higher sadhana, because what is being given here is the highest. There is nothing higher than this. Especially the advanced programs, the empowerment programs, the highest sadhanas which are being taught. So you stick to that. If you do too many things, then that can overburden you. So that choice you will have to make. If you do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, whatever other sadhanas are there, you get the fruits of all that. This is the mother of everything. This is the root. So you do it in the right way and follow the other principles like doing your kriyas and everything, then you will reap the full benefits. Okay? Thank you very much. We'll meet next week. Thank you.